Middle meat throwdown here, and a fight that honestly might steal the show. I cannot wait to see how the Caucasian Roman Dolidze looks against the Italian Dream, aka Marvin Vettori, aka Angry Marvin. And for Angry Marvin recently, it's been pretty tough, right? He's lost two of three. Granted, though, it's like always against the toughest dudes around, right? He lost to Izzy Adesanya. That was his opportunity to get the belt. Failed. Came back, beat Paulo Costa pretty convincingly, and then lost most recently against Robert Whitaker in a fight in France where I don't know, he just never really could get going. And Whitaker's a guy that will just stymie a lot of offensive threats that come back his way, and just seemed like Vittori couldn't figure that one out. And makes sense, but everyone else that he's been up against, he has been able to figure out, right? He's got some pretty nice wins. Kevin Holland was light work. Jack the Joker, Carl Roberson, like he's beat some pretty decent dudes, and he's come in here as though, again, having lost two out of three, and now fighting against Roman Dolidze, who has won four straight. The guy just keeps picking up finish after finish, and it started with that face-shattering knee that he gave to Kyle Dawkins. That was incredible, his first performance of the night. Then he turns around and knocks out Phil Hawes in just an absolutely destructive manner, earns a second performance of the night. And then thirdly, Jack the Joker Hermanson. And that one I thought was probably most impressive. And Roman Dolidze was a decent dog in that one. He caught him in that like gnarly calf slicer, which he turned into a TKO, and it was basically the worst of both worlds. Just simultaneous pain from all angle happening via Dolidze on the Joker. So, what are your thoughts on this one? Dolidze is a pretty sizable dog, as he seemingly always is. Do you like the plus 220, plus 230 value, or at 34 years old against the Italian Dream, who's only 29, is this where Roman's run ends? Who you taking?
Yeah, I mean, most likely, like, just this topology and the odds are showing Marvin Vettori probably should win this. On paper, should win this. Experience-wise, should win this. The dude's he's Angry Marvin. He's a savage. He's been looking great. Endurance is crazy, crazy, crazy. But he lacks punching power. There's really no threat. Like when I think of these guys in the cage, a lot of the fear is like I could die. When you're fighting Marvin, you're just like, oh, I could get laid on, and I could get, pillow punched by, a 15-year-old girl, but 1,000 times, and I might get a boo-boo. If you get hit by Roman Dolidze, I don't know if you're going to wake up for this century or the next, because I think Roman Dolidze is going to send Marvin Vettori to the shadow realm. Marvin has not been hit by a Georgia brother, and if anyone's going to knock out Marvin Vettori, it's going to be Roman Dolidze. I think his jiu-jitsu can counter Marvin's wrestling. I think his strength will match Marvin's strength. The one thing I worry, though, is the cardio. The cardio is where Marvin clearly has proven his cardio, right? He's gone 5 rounds with Izzy, 5 rounds with Whitaker, etc., etc. He looks great. We get it. Roman Dolidze has kind of been known to be a two-pump chomp. That L he took a while ago was very questionable. But I'm banking off that he's prepared. He's ready for war, or he's going for that first-round finish. So this is going to be an epic fight. I think it's either going to be the distance of Marvin Vettori. Maybe no, there's no way he submits Roman Dolidze. Roman Dolidze is too nasty on the ground. But I think Roman could get a big upset on Vettori. I would be surprised if this goes the distance and Roman wins. I won't be surprised if it goes the distance and Marvin wins, though.
Yeah, that would seemingly make sense, right? I mean, Marvin Vettori is kind of a decision machine, and he does have some submission finishes, but to your point, Roman Dolidze is no slouch on the ground. This is a guy who's very well versed and has a pretty insane choking arsenal himself. So if Marvin was able to sub Dolidze, that I think would be quite impressive for sure. I think that Marvin by decision is probably the safest pick, and if Marvin is able to get this one done, that is most likely it. Maybe an angry TKO on the ground, but again, Marvin hasn't demonstrated much punching, finishing abilities, and Roman, to your point, has only ever lost that one fight. It was that weird one to Trevin Giles where he lost the unanimous decision and really looked pretty bad in that fight. But that was years ago, and it seems like the new Roman Dolidze that we've seen the last few years is quite different from that one that we saw lose against Trevin Giles for sure. In this one, I think minus 275 is kind of a pricey fee for Vettori, especially with how tough Dolidze is. And I think Dolidze might cash as a dog in this one, but I'm going to take Angry Marvin to just probably out-grapple him, probably out-strength him, which is crazy to say because Roman is an absolute powerhouse. But I see Marvin finding a way to get this one done, and I'm going to go Marvin by decision. But I don't blame you for taking Roman Dolidze because, as you know, one of the OG meatheads, Thermopylae, said, you can never bet against a Georgian underdog, and Roman Dolidze are getting just that again. I'm just fading Thermopylae since he's kind of been fading the Meat Boys. So I got Marvin. Any last thoughts?
No, this would be a banger of a fight. The comments, who you taking, Angry Marvin or Roman Dolidze?